Did you guys hear me? Testing one, two, three.
Testing one, two, three. Can you guys hear me, ladies and gentlemen?
Amazing. Wow. Everybody showed up on a fucking Saturday. Interesting. You guys have nothing else to do? I should be asking myself the same question, right? I'm late? No, bro. I did this on purpose. 3, 4 minutes so you guys test your patience. Because that's something that I do want to talk about right now as soon as we get started. No, I know. Trust me, I have nothing else to do either. I'm just here home. Facts. All right, sick, sick. So obviously today I implemented and tested once again the patience factor on you guys. What do I mean by the patience factor? The patience factor by making you guys wait in order for you guys to join the class for today. I've been here like always. I always pull up to the computer like 30, 45 minutes before just to make sure there's no notifications, there's no distractions. And I'm like talking to my team about, yo, how's support? How's everything going? Like, are people like, are some people getting access? Other people are saying they're not, blah, 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 blah. They're kind of breaking me down how everything's going. And then they're saying that a lot of you guys are, they always exaggerate a little bit because when you get 30 text messages at once, it seems like a shit ton, but it's pretty, and like in retrospect and percentage wise, compared to how many students have joined is not a lot, but it is kind of annoying for them, right? Because a lot of you guys are reaching out to the support saying that Alex isn't answering my question. What the fuck? I wanted to answer my question. And it's probably because your question, one, is not relevant to the topic that we're talking about. So I completely ignore it. Two, probably because it has already been asked and you're just late to the class and you want to hear it all over again. Or three, that you probably ask a question that I just literally don't understand. Some of you guys just write really fast thinking that that's going to make me see it, and I literally don't see it. So a lot of the questions that I do get asked are not related to what the topic is. So I completely ignore it. I ask you guys for please save those questions for next week. And a lot of you guys don't want to do that and you guys just want to stick to it. And a lot of you guys go very deep into the question that once again, it makes no sense. Like I don't know how to answer why TradingView was created. I have no fucking idea. Like I don't know. It's just a tool that we use now and then that's it. So yeah, I'm not gonna answer that question. I'm not gonna waste time on that. It takes away from what we're teaching. And I guarantee can almost guarantee you that the question that you might be asking at that very moment really does not affect if you're going to be profitable or not. It's probably just very in-depth questions. I'm sorry, guys. I have to take this call. Can you guys hear me now? Can you guys hear me now? So I had to like talk without moving my lips so you guys don't lip read because you guys are a little freaky out here. But the whole point that I want to make is I want you guys to please be patient. Do not like support is not going to answer any of your technical questions. They're just support. They're trained to make sure that you get access to this class and that you get access to the recordings. That's about it. Anything outside of that, they literally don't know. They have no idea. They're not educated for that. And they're just gonna basically tell you wait for the class, or they're gonna try and make something up because I push on them and I make them have the best service and support ever. So they're going to try their best to answer the question, but they really don't know. It's better if you just wait. It's like what I said. I guarantee you that you're going to get your question answered by the end of the boot camp. You're just being impatient. You're not letting time do its thing. Remember, I asked for you guys three things at the beginning: patience, dedication, and time. And those of you guys that are blowing up the support saying that I'm not answering your question, there's a very reasonable reason behind that. It's not because I don't like you or I don't want to answer your question. Trust me, I see it. It just does not make any sense to what we're doing at this very moment. So please be patient, and I'm going to answer your questions in due time. And that's exactly what today is about. I'm going to put on the screen everything that we have talked about on week number 1. Do a quick recap on everything and then answer any other what questions. And we will close the chapter on what things are. And then next week, we're going to start working on how things work. So, which is where a lot of your questions have been coming. And I can guarantee you, as soon as I start the how, you guys are going to start asking, how do you do it? Well, that's what the following week is going to be for, right? It's one step at a time. If this all makes sense, type 1. If it doesn't, type 2. Amazing. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, cool. How does it work for taxes? Brian, I don't answer your question because that has nothing to fucking do with what the fuck we've talked about, Brian. Jesus. And it's just a bunch of questions like that, bro. It's okay, Brian. That question will be answered once we get to the how. All right, cool. Well, I'm sure there's multiple Brians, okay? I'm not calling out one specific Brian. All right, hold on. Let me just bring this over here. I just have to turn off the chat, right? One thing at a time. My focus. It's gotta be here for you guys. All right. Hold on, give me 1 second, guys. All right. So this is what we got for right now, right? So this is what we have talked about up to right now. What is Forex? We all know what the foreign exchange market is and what it consists of. We all know now how it works, that the money doesn't come from thin air. It comes from somebody else's pocket, whether it's a bank, whether it's an institutional trader, whether it's a retail trader. The money comes from somebody else. If you win money, somebody else is losing it. You guys know what platforms to use. You got your Forex Factory, you have your MyFX book position size calculator, you have your LQH markets for the broker, MetaTrader to execute the trades, RNS.ID to get your virtual ID, Oanda as another alternative for another broker, and you have a VPN as well to make sure that you are secure and available to get onto LQH markets, along with the 2 prop firms that I recommend. These are the platforms that you should use, and everything outside of these platforms are platforms you should avoid. You know very well what a chart is now. You very well know what a pair is. A pair is when there's 2 fighters in the market, when there is Mike Tyson versus Muhammad Ali, When they're fighting, they leave their history on the chart. And the way that their progression is measured is by pips. And you never want to do cross pair correlation. So you know very well what that is as well. If you know what all of this is, type 1. If you don't, type 2. Perfect. Amazing. Beautiful. All right. Now that we understand what that is, I'm going to turn off the chat just for 1 second. Well, actually, before that, please, what are your questions regarding what things in here are? Please bear with me, guys. I'm going to get to all of this. That's what today is about. Please ask me what question you can possibly have about what these things are, not how the things work, not where you can do this in it, just what it is. Please ask in now. What if you cannot afford an ID for LQH? Then you don't use LQH, use another broker. Can you run through the last one? Jake, come on, brother. What is cross pair correlation? We've already talked about it. I think I gave it a different name. Where is it? Somewhere around here. We talked about cross pair correlation already, which is where you don't want to have, market correlation. Here it goes with my, it's cross pair correlation / market correlation. Theta, potato, same thing. Same thing. Literally the same thing. Everybody spammed. What is cross pair? Cross pair. It's market correlation is when you correlate one pair to the other, one market to the other. It's the same thing. Can you give another option for a broker that's more friendly for Europeans? This is the only broker that I recommend, or this one. This one is friendly for Europeans. What platforms to avoid? Everything aside from the platforms that are here. Literally every single question that I'm getting asked right now, that I'm reading through every single one of them, it's in the recording, and I'm not going to answer. Zach, no. Aiden, no. Bro's mad today? No, I'm just actually trying to progress, but it's being a little hard. Any spam questions, not gonna answer. Literally every single question that's getting asked right now is literally inside of the recording. Perfect. No questions on what these things are. If you have any questions that did not get answered at this very time, don't be lazy. Go watch the recording. I'm not going to continue to repeat myself when we have to now progress into how things work. So do not go ask the support, because the support is going to now tell you, go watch the recording. After this call is done, if you have any questions that I consider that are in the recordings, I'm going to literally tell the support to tell you to go watch the recording. So stop trying to find the easy way around it. Go watch the recording. It is the only way that you're going to progress. Sit down, put in the work. If not, trading is not meant for you. Cool. Now that we understand what everything is here, let's talk about what not to care about, what not to use, which is basically the platforms. It's the same thing. I basically just double wrote things here. So now you guys know what are news in the markets. It's basically when fundamentals come out and move the market up and down. You guys know what a funding company is and how it works. And I actually went a little too deep into how they actually work and make money. So you guys would have to go watch that recording. I explained to you guys how a broker works and what a broker is. I didn't explain to you fully how it works, but I gave you a little bit over the top because once again, I went too in depth on what it is. I became passionate on that call. You guys know exactly what a candlestick is and how it is formed. We saw it live happen inside of the call that we did when we broke this down. You guys know what a lot size is and how to calculate it, which should have saved that for the how call, but it's okay. It's very simple to calculate it. You guys know what a spread is and gave many different analogies on it. And you guys most definitely know what slippage is and what is leverage. This is the hiking example. If you guys understand what everything inside of here is, type 1. If not, type 2. Perfect. Perfect. Beautiful. Spread is the same as slippage. I don't know. I think I talked about it in the recording. Please go watch the recording. I swear you don't see my questions. Yasini? No, I don't. I don't ever see it. Spread is just the broker fees. Correct. Bro, can you give us homework? Yes, your homework is to just watch the recording. Still a little confused on what leverage is. Leverage at the end of the day is just buying power. What is buying power? It's leverage. What is leverage? Buying power. When you have all of your money, perfect example and analogy that I can put for this, and I'm sure we've all ran into this before. When you have your money in a bank, right? Chase Bank, which is the biggest bank in the world, I believe, or the biggest bank in the US, whatever, or whatever bank you have your money in. Let's say you have $1,000 in your bank account and you go to a sketchy gas station or whatever, and you try and spend close to the $1,000, you're gonna get a notification for fraud, and the bank is gonna ask you, "Are you sure you want to spend this transaction?" You say yes, and the bank either decides it lets you or it doesn't let you. The bank limits you to your spending power. That's the leverage the bank gives you on your money. You can either use 100% of your money or you can use a certain percentage of it. It's whatever the bank lets you use. Buying power and leverage is the same fucking shit. The only difference is that the broker gives you more access with your money or less access with your money to the markets. That is it. All you need to know is that you do not need more than a 1 to 100 leverage. Anything over a 1 to 100, you are over leveraging yourself. When you over leverage is when you overexpose. When you overexpose is when you have too much risk on the table. Everything is very self-explanatory, and there's no reason for you to have more than a 1 to 100. If you do, you're prone to blowing your account much faster because you have too much buying power, too much leverage on your account, and the odds of you making a mistake in terms of how much you're going to risk is going to be a lot higher, and you can go straight through your account like this. So if you want to be very high risk, raise your leverage. If you want to be very low risk, lower your leverage. Leverage, the only thing it does is limit the buying power with the money you have in the account. The broker doesn't credit you money, the broker doesn't lend you money. That's the way it's said, but it's not the truth. It's your own money you're putting at risk at the end of the day, nobody else's. If that makes sense, type 1. If it doesn't, type 2. Bro, it looks painful repeating everything. Yeah, just a little bit, yeah. Didn't you use a 1 to 500 on your challenge? Yes, I used a 1 to 500, but I can handle having $300,000-$400,000 at risk. Respectfully, you probably can't. So you cannot have high leverage just yet. You're only on week one. So you can't do exactly what I do just yet because you haven't learned how to do it. I first have to teach you how to properly walk, then you can start to run. Yeah, I drift my fucking car down the road because I've been drifting for 5 years, 6 years. You just bought a car, you don't even know how to drive yet. You can't just drift it yet. You have to first learn how to drive. Does a lot size calculator take leverage into consideration? No. Does it? Come here. Is you see leverage anywhere here? No. Does not give a fuck. Again, a lot of these questions are very self-explanatory. All right, cool. All these questions, I'm going to answer them next week. All right, so we all understand what are the news in the markets, what is a funding company, what is everything here. Sick. Next, we have what is a level of support, what is a candlestick, what is a resistance, what is an area of interest, what is a key level, what is a order block, what is a I don't know what's the other one. Whatever other word they put here, we all understand what this is. What is a round psychological level? What is a take profit? What is a stop loss? And what is a risk to reward? If you understand what this is, please type 1. If not, type 2. Supply and demand. Yes, potato, potato. Correct. It's crazy how much patience you have. A lot. Area of interest is every 500. I don't know. Go watch the recordings. What is fair value gap? I have no idea. I don't teach something I don't know. Is an area of interest a strong level of support or resistance? I don't know. Go watch the recording. Can you explain really fast what a support is? No. Go watch the recording. You're teaching us patience in real time? Yes, I am. Is the round psychological level every 500? I don't know. Go watch the recording. All right, cool. We all understand exactly what everything is here. Sick. Next. So let me take this off. Now, we all understand what an indicator is. We understand that it moves with price. How it works is we're going to talk about this week. We understand what a trendy market is when we compare it to clothing brands, and we understand what a choppy market is when we compare it to waves. We understand what a high volume session is with the fishing markets, with the analogy of the time sessions. I understand what market correlation is, which is cross pair correlation. Potato, potato, same word. I just add a different word to it because I can now change here and put pair correlation, or I can put currency correlation. And now, boom, I have a whole entire new product to sell. That's what people do. They put a different word and they tell you something else. They put here currency correlation. I don't know. They literally put whatever they want. At the end of the day, a currency, a pair, a cross pair, it's the market. And it's when you correlate the market. Then we understand that this is not needed, and we understand that everything in the market is market structure, and we have an idea with the top-down analysis when you go to your gym and you go to analyze your potential trade, how and what a top-down analysis is. If you guys understand what everything is here, please type 1. If you don't, type 2. And if you want to ask a question like, hey, is it this right? I'm not going to answer it. You have to go watch the recording. Let's say that we take a trade in a high volume session, but the trade hasn't reached a take profit. Would you let it go through the less volume session? That sounds like a how question, but the simplicity to the answer. So I pretend like I didn't read it the way I read it. The answer is yes. Choppy market and consolidation market is the same. I don't know. Go watch the recording. Are EMA and SMA the same? I don't know. Go watch the recording. I don't know if you can see this or you're ignoring it. What type of VSB type broker? Kenneth Lugo, I've ignored that question because I don't know what the fuck that means, dude. Fuck. Yes, I'm ignoring your question because I don't know what the fuck that means, bro. Like, what does that mean? Jesus. On a high volume session during JPY, sounds like a how question. All right, what's this guy's name? Flip, please, brother. Stop spamming that, brother. I get it. It's funny, but that's it. Can we go further into top analysis? Yeah, that's what the how is. All right, cool. Now we understand exactly everything, what is inside of here. The questions that are getting asked and not answered, they are inside of the recording. And last but not least, we understand what a fake out is. It's like a fake friend. We've all had one and we all understand that it is part of the game. We understand what an entry signal is, and without the entry signal, you do not enter the trade, and that the entry signal is the last part of a trade. Without the entry signal, you cannot execute the trade. We understand what is proper day trading, swing trading, and scalping. If you were to watch the recording, I actually give a secret on scalping, and I actually show you guys my exact social security in that recording. But on the scalping, you have to go watch the recording on that, on when I talk about scalping. You guys understand what market patterns are, and you guys understand what market reversal patterns are, along with your trading plan. Your trading plan is just like flying a plane, and it's just like the way to properly think as a trader. This person does not think like a normal person because he has to get into the zone. So does a trader. And we have the entry signal doubled here. So we all know what everything here is. Please, once again, I apologize for asking for so much. Type 1 in the chats. If not, type 2. Beautiful, amazing, 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 lovely. I love it. Phenomenal. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question on what anything that we have just talked about is, please ask it now. If it is not a relevant question, I will not answer it. Is the entry signal the last confirmation? Please go watch the recording. Can I see the recordings offline? I don't know. I think you might have to download the video. Can I use a broker under 18? I don't believe so. What is the book that I'm going to recommend? If you were to just give me 1 second, I'll get to just that. Douglas Lopez, go watch the recording. Would you give an analogy on order block is? Sure. Okay. So my analogy on order block is it's the same fucking shit. Go watch the recording. Oh, fuck. All right, cool. So what do you recommend? Day trading or swing trading? When you go watch the recording, I tell you exactly which one I rather choose. All right, cool. definitely bunch of nothing inside of these questions. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So over the course of the last week, we have gone over what the majority of the things that are going to be needed inside of trading, right? These are just very over the top things that you have to know what they are in order so you can now learn how they work. And after you learn how they work, you then go and use a strategy on how these things work. The best example, the best analogy that I can put is a car, drift car. Actually, fuck that. First, it's just going to be a car. So this, it's funny. Never mind. I mean, is a car. I've been telling you what a car is for the last week. What is a wheel? What is an engine? What is a transmission? What is a differential? What is a cooler? What is an e-brake? What is a handbrake? What is a power steering? What is a intercooler? What is an intake? What is an exhaust? Everything that builds up the car. What everything is. Now, at this point, you have not entered the vehicle. You are just outside understanding what is and the mechanics of how it came about. Now, next week, I'm going to teach you how it works. So you're going to actually step into the car for the first time and you're going to put the transmission into drive, or you're going to push in the clutch and go into first gear. You're going to learn how to steer the steering wheel. You're going to learn how to fill up the car with fuel. You're going to learn how to accelerate. You're going to learn how to brake. You're going to learn how to press the horn, the stereo system, how to rev it. You're going to learn how to operate the machine. Now, after you learn how to operate the machine, then you're going to learn how to properly drive it to have fun. You're going to learn how to do this, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm drifting. So I can't teach you how to drift until you don't know how the pedals work. And I can't teach you how the pedals work if you don't know what they are and what they consist of. So again, it is one step at a time. Now that you know what everything is that you need to know, now this next week is going to be the how things work. Now, how things work is going to be very key for you to understand to properly know how I do it. Because if you want to learn how to drive a vehicle by accelerating with your left foot and braking with your right foot, well, then you're pretty much screwed when it comes to learning how I use it, because I use the basis of how things work. I just modify it a little bit. So I don't change things around. How things work are how things works. Now I just put them together in order for it to make sense. I don't change the accelerator for the brake. I don't do that. No. When I go drift, I use the same accelerator and I use the same brake. The only thing that I do is I'm just going a little bit faster and I'm turning the steering wheel. So I'm using what the car gives me. It's how I use it. I'm not changing anything and I'm not adding anything. It's the same car, it's the same engine, the same transmission, the same brake pedal, the same accelerator. It's the same thing here. I'm going to use everything that I have told you what it is. Now it's how I'm going to use it. Now, the majority of the things here we're not even going to talk about because they're completely irrelevant, but there's good for you to know so that you can learn how you have to implement it. If everything up to that point makes sense, type 1. If it doesn't, type 2. Perfect. 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 Now that I said that, I want to be very clear, very, very clear. I do not know anything other in trading other than what the fuck you guys are seeing here. I don't know anything. Like literally, I don't know nothing else other inside of trading other than this right here. other than how these things work, how you properly use a EMA, how you properly use an entry signal, how you properly use a trading plan, a reversal pattern, how you properly use a support level, an area of interest, how you properly like, I don't know what anything else is in the markets. I promise. And it's gonna literally make so much sense in this next week. So if you ask me about something that is not here, I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know how to trade indices. I don't know crypto. I don't know stocks. I don't know futures. I don't know options. I don't know anything that is not here. I literally don't know. And you don't either to make money in trading. Anything else that is out there outside from what I use, I get asked, what do I think of it? What's your opinion? And my thought is, I don't fucking know. I literally don't know. And I don't need it to know to make money. And neither do you, is what I want you to understand. You don't need to understand a bunch of shit in order for this to work. You just need to know and understand one thing and master that one thing. That is the key and the secret to trading into this industry. 99% of traders fail, not only because they can't handle their emotions or whatever, it's because they get overwhelmed with how much shit is out there and they want to learn it all at the same time and implement it at the same time, thinking that the more you put into this, the more it's going to make you. That's not how this works. This is not like a regular job, that the more hours you work, the more money you get paid or the more effort you put into let's say building something, let's say you're building a sculpture, the more you put into it, the more you're gonna get. Not at all. That is not how this shit works. This is the complete opposite. You have to put a lot of time into it to understand how it works. But in the moments of execution, you execute and that is it. You don't do anything else. And I'm going to get into a lot deeper concepts in this as we go through, but I want you guys to understand how easy this was to grasp and understand what they were. It's going to be even easier to understand how it works and how I personally use it. And I don't want you to think that you need more things to succeed and to make it work. You don't need more things. What I'm going to teach you is literally everything that I know how it works. So you're going to understand it very easily and you're going to almost be like, bro, what the fuck? Like, is that it? How did I not see it before? Well, it's because you just simply weren't taught. You just didn't understand and you didn't have the knowledge before. That's why you didn't know. And just because you understand it easy, don't think that you need to add more things or you need to complicate it or reinvent the way you learned it. It's meant to be easy because you're being taught the correct way. Perfect example and perfect analogy that I can put for this is when you go learn a language or when you go draw or whatever, it seems very hard and complicated at the beginning. But once you literally get taught for 2, 3 hours, it becomes second nature. It becomes easy, it becomes normal because you were taught the correct way. Before you were at literally at level zero, you had no idea. And now you're no longer there. It becomes normal. So I want you guys to really deeply understand this because shit is going to become so easy from this point forward that you're going to have so many questions on things that have nothing to do with this. It's gonna be like, is that really it? Like, what else? What else? What else? And the answer to that is gonna be there is nothing else. This is all you need to know. If this makes sense, type one. If it doesn't, type two. Sick. Yeah, it's like learning an instrument. I just don't know how many people know how to play an instrument. All right, perfect. So now that we understand that everything that I have taught you, we're now gonna go into the how things work. Now I want you guys to get ready for the real notes. I want you guys to get ready to actually fucking pay attention because now you're about to get behind the wheel of a fucking car. And the moment you get behind the wheel of a car, you're putting other people at risk. In this case, you're only putting yourself at risk because you're going to have to deal with your losses. You're going to have to deal with your struggle. You're going to have to deal with everything yourself. It's just you and yourself right now in your room, in your office, in your studio, in your bed. Wherever you are, it's you versus you. And if you do not pay attention, you are about to crash and face literally like you're gonna make this so much harder on yourself if you don't pay attention. And the moment you get it and you understand it, don't complicate it. Simplicity is key. Trust me, once you pay attention and you get it, that's it. Understand it, move on to the next thing. Don't try and look deeper into the things. Sick. I just really want to express these things and make it very clear because trust me, I this is my third time doing this and I know how things are gonna go. So something before I continue to go on, I want to make a couple of polls. I want to track how we have been going so far. So the first poll that I want to do is going to be for the beginners. So yeah. So for my beginners. Let me see how do I ask this question? Beginners. Okay, so for my beginners, are you ready? So before I continue to go on, for my beginners that are inside of this call, that is everything you need to know to cross the hurdle of no longer becoming in a beginner. Like now you are ready to enter to become an intermediate because now is when you're going to start actually testing things and how things go. First, you have to learn what it is, and then you can go and put it into practice and really see how it works. There's nothing else that you need to learn what it is specifically. You know everything that is needed to know in the markets in terms of trading tools, in terms of platforms, in terms of keywords, in terms of vocabulary. There is nothing else that you need to learn what it is. Like nothing, 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 nothing. Now it's just the how. So I want to make that very clear. So if you are a beginner and you are now ready to go into the intermediate, understanding what everything is, and now you're ready for a how, please fill out this poll. Because at the end of the day, the beginners are the people that I just want to make sure we are pulling with us and that they are progressing with the correct speed. And I'm going at their pace because, again, this is a boot camp from level 0 to 100. If this is a boot camp from level 50 to 100, this would have started very, very, very different. But since we're going from 0 to 100, I want to let the beginners know that we are no longer at level 0. We're at level now 40, 45% because you've learned the what, which is what took me like 6 to 8 months to figure out what everything in the market and in trading is needed. There's nothing else that you need to learn in order to actually understand what the trading is made of. So that is everything that took me 6 to 8 months. You got it in 1 week because I learned how to filter out the good shit from the bullshit. All the bullshit, threw it out. I'm only focused on the good shit. So if my beginners, you guys are ready to now move to an intermediate, please put yes or put no. Sick. Wow. Wow, wow. I'm actually in shock by this. I'm actually in shock. Like I can't even make this up. This actually makes me feel great. Okay. Like there's we have not had a poll where it has been 100%. of anything. Everything's been divided. We look like this country of the US, all divided, and there's pure division. So the fact that we are all like literally 100% and two motherfuckers that decided to put no, or you did not put no, clearly your colleagues, either you're a troll one or you might not be ready, but clearly everybody else feels like they're ready, meaning they have what you have in order for you to feel ready, which is the recordings. Go watch the recordings and you have everything that you need to feel just like them. Lit. Amazing. That actually makes me feel great that we are all on the same page. The fact that 100% was that. Put a W in the chat because that is a fucking W. Like that right there, taking what took me 6 to 8 months for everybody to understand in 1 week. It's pretty crazy. I can't even lie. It's actually insane. It's actually really insane. I've never done polls like this in the last bootcamp. This is the first one that I've done. Something just moved in the background. Oh yeah, it was a tree right here. That shit just scared the shit out of me. I was like, what the hell is that? The reflecting of a tree. All right, cool. All right, now that we're past that hurdle, I have another poll to ask. I'm not even gonna say anything. Again, and I'm only doing this because I promised you guys I was going to do this. Not because I want to. It's not because of me. Again, I'm available whenever. Now, here there's going to be some division. And I'm sorry, but I'm just sticking to my word and doing as I said. Do you guys want me to change the times of the classes? Yes or no? Oh, oh, shit. Oh, shit. Everybody's got to vote on this one. Oh, shit. Yep. Yep. Almost done. 5% more. Not that it's going to change anything, but yep. Our our results. We have a 65% that does not want to change the times. There is a 35% that does. So, majority votes. The majority does not want to change the time. So, even I'm just speaking for my 35%, just letting you guys know, even if I wanted to force to changing the times when I go do the poll, it's going to be the same results because the majority of the people do not want to change the time. So since they don't want to change the time, they're going to vote for the same time, meaning the same times are going to win. So if you guys wanted me to redo it, there's literally no point because it's going to be the same outcome. If that makes sense, type one. If not, type two. Perfect. I just want to make that clear because even if I were to want to do it, they would still make nothing would change. For me, I love these sessions. I love them. You keep saying sick. What does it mean? I'm an old guy. All right, Alan. Sick means like cool or like, yeah, sick means, yeah, cool. Like, oh, okay, cool. Okay, cool. Fire. Amazing. That's what sick means. Alan, thank you for being here, man. And you know what? For my older people in here, I apologize sometimes my language, I am in the, you know what? Let's do another poll. Let's get like an age group, just kind of an idea in here. Because I am always under the impression that everybody that follows me is the boys, people that are, 18, 25, 30. But sometimes there tends to be some other people that want to get into trading. So I apologize. I have respect and manners for the legends. So what age group you Oh, dude, I'm all for the older people getting into this, dude. I'm all for it. All right, what age group are you in? I figured, yeah. So this basically confirms my point, pretty much. Basically confirms my point. Thomas, I already did that. All right, so these are the stats of the poll. So we have an age group of about 40% from 25 to 36 and 33%. So yeah, basically what I thought the boys, like the younger crowd. Shout out to the 9% that are 55 plus. Shout out to you guys and shout out to the people to the 9% that are from 45 to 55. Shout out to you guys. If you're 36 to 45, I'm kidding. Yeah, I was gonna say something funny, but no, shout out to you guys as well. All right, sick. So, ladies and gentlemen, now that we understand, let me just basically turn off the chat just one time, ladies and gentlemen. So now that we understand what everything is needed for you guys to understand what trading Forex is and what it consists of, in this following week, we're going to get into the how everything works. So I want you guys to know there's some things that I'm going to explain that I am not going to use myself. For example, what is a blinker in a car? Well, a blinker in a car is what lets the rear person know that you're going to be changing lanes or going into a location. How it works is when you press down on the blinker tab or up or whatever. Like if you press up, you go right. If you press down, you go left. How I use it is I don't fucking use it. I don't ever use a blinker. You can take that shit off my car. I don't ever even notice. So there's some things that I'm going to teach you just so you know what they are and how they work because it's the correct thing to do. But then when it comes to how I use it, you have to almost forget about it. But I have to teach you how it works because if not, as you're in the middle of drifting, you're going to look down to this lever and you're going to be like, wait, how the fuck does that work? What is that? Well, now you know what it is, how it works. And as you're drifting, you don't even have to think about it because you know it has nothing to do with you drifting. You got to only focus on what I'm going to be teaching. So there's a lot of things that I'm going to teach you the how and little stuff like that, but it's for your knowledge and for your curious mind that is going to want to know how these things work. I'm going to teach you it, no problem. They're not difficult, they're very simple, and it's going to be very easy to unlearn them because there's going to be so many other things to focus on. So, once again, I'm just going to ask for your patience, for your dedication and time because it's going to be, once again, just how it was this week, a slow grind. It starts slow and then it picks up. So for today, I just wanted to bring us all together so we are all on the same page. I want to make sure that I know you guys are on the same page because, again, I'm here by myself and I am literally just putting, words to a screen and I'm reading a chat and I have to make sure that what I'm speaking is working. And based off of the poll that I just did, that leads me to understand that we are ready for that next point. I really wanted to make sure that everything that we discussed on what it is that you guys got it and you guys are now ready for the how. So we're now past that bridge and that you guys were okay with this time sessions that we had now. The majority voted for it, 35% that wanted the time change. Once again, it's the majority vote. Apologize for that, but the recordings are available to everybody. Now, tomorrow, I was thinking of doing Sunday swings with you guys, but I don't want to do it. I don't want to do Sunday swings tomorrow because I don't want it to mess up the how. There's going to be some things that I'm going to do that are advanced and I messed up when I did it already the first time. And I know some of you guys are intermediate experience. Excuse me. I know some of you guys are intermediate experience. And you're like, but wait, I want it like filter me in, like let me be part of it. And it's like, dude, it's gonna literally be impossible to be able to filter you out There's no point of you reaching out to support and letting support know that you alone and you alone want to be part of Sunday Swings, that we should make an exception for you. It's kind of just one of those situations where it just sucks this one time, because next week we will be doing Sunday Swings, and the week after that, which is the fourth week, we will be doing Sunday Swings, and then the fifth and the sixth and the seventh and the eighth and the ninth and the 10th, we will be doing Sunday Swings. So it's just this 1 week where it kind of sucks for you guys to not be part of Sunday Swings, because again, I don't want to be too ahead of what I'm going to be teaching that very week. I messed up the first time and I don't want to make the same mistake again. Those of you guys that are experienced, again, just sucks this one time, but it's gonna, trust me, I'm gonna make up for it as we go through the time. So no Sunday Swings tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be technically the only day we have off. It's not really an off day. It's just gonna be no Zoom call day. The next Sunday we will be having Sunday Swings, and we'll have the full 7 days. But this time, don't want to do it just for the time purpose, for the structure purpose of the boot camp. So I want you guys to use that free time to go watch the recordings, rewrite your notes, and put in the time to just really getting deep and down. There's not a lot of things, personally, my opinion, that you can rewatch on this recording so many times compared to on how it works and how I use it. Those are the recordings that I'm going to tell you, you got to minimum watch these shits 3 times. These that we just did this week, once, twice, pushing it. But the ones that we're going to do now, you got to rewatch minimum 3 times. And that's where things really start to stick and you start to get that aha moments, because the how and the how I use it is what took me a year of trial and error to really understand, to really see the patterns. For you guys to get a year worth of trial and error in a 2-hour class is ridiculous. So that's why I'm going to say minimum 3 hours, just so you can kind of compensate for all that time that should be put into the markets for you to understand these patterns and see them constantly. This last week, you can only understand what something is how many times. Now, how it works, and then you go and find it yourself. And how I use it is where things go a little bit more into depth. So if you guys understand that, type 1. If not, type 2. Sick. So every single Saturday is going to be basically a recap, essentially a recap and Q&A, and we just figure out new things to talk about. Yeah. And new homework that I'll give you guys for the week ahead. And I have one homework for you guys. I have one piece of homework for you guys. That's totally fair. I understand. Sick. Quote of the day. I'm going to say the quote of the day at the end once we're finished. We're not done just yet. Can you please share your trades? Not right now. All right, cool. So which one's this one? Can you please just mention 3 top markets? No, Simon. Okay. I'm so glad that I'm so glad that I say things before people even ask it. All right. So the homework that I want to leave you guys with is to read one book from here to Monday. Guys, this book, I read it 5 times. It is 100 pages. And I know I'm going to literally just show you. So the book that I recommend for you guys to read right now is going to be The Candlestick Bible. Just go on Google, search up The Candlestick Bible PDF, and you guys can read it. It is literally free. And it's 100 pages of just what is it? No, it's 160 pages. Wow, whatever. But it's literally just a picture. How do I make this smaller? Whatever. It's literally just, let me just go to like the actual thing. It's a picture and 1 paragraph. There goes 1 page. Picture, 1 paragraph. There goes 2 pages. Picture and 2 paragraphs. There goes the 3rd page. The whole entire book is a very easy read. It is The Candlestick Bible PDF. It is free. Go to Google, get it, download it, and read it. Read it as many times as you possibly can so you guys can really understand the candlesticks. Now, you're going to learn a lot of things in here that, once again, they have their own names. They have different names that I personally don't use, and I don't care to use any single one of them, but I do use the actual candlesticks. So you guys are going to see the morning star, the evening star, the hammer, the this, the this, the this. And when I go and teach you guys how it works, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? So, not what is a candlestick, how a candlestick works. I'm going to go and tell you what are the best candlestick formations. So, I have used every single one of these candlestick patterns. So, if you notice, we know what market structure pattern is: the head and shoulders, the double top, the double bottom, the break and retest, and the breakout. But there's also candlestick patterns. I don't want to get too crazy into that this week because I want to do it in the how, because it's something that I really want to dig deep and down and just dedicate like almost one whole Zoom call just on how the candlesticks work, because there's so many different types of candlesticks. Now, the same way how there is a bunch and a million different indicators, you're not going to use all of them. You're going to use one of them. Same thing here. You're not going to use all of these different types of candlestick patterns. You're going to use one or two of them. But it's good to know what the others are, because you're going to literally be seeing them every single day. You're going to see an engulfing candlestick. You're going to see a shooting star. You're going to see a bearish engulfing. You're going to see a doji. You're going to see a evening star formation. You're going to see a morning star formation. You're going to see all of these candlesticks, and it's good to know what they are. Now, which ones you should properly use and how you should use it, that is what next week is about. So I want you guys to read this book as many times as you possibly can. That is your guys' homework. If you do not read this book, you're not qualified to get into the call on Monday. You're going to be lost. You're not going to know where you are. And I was thinking about it. I said, you know what? Should I just do what we did in middle school or in high school or in pre-K or whatever fucking grade we did this in, which is, do I sit down like a teacher and say, okay, Michael, read the first paragraph, read it. Candlestick patterns are an integral part of the technical analysis. Okay, David, read paragraph number 5. Ben, read paragraph number 7. No, dude, we're not in fucking pre-K. We don't do that out here. We're all adults. We're all grown. You can go out there and read the book your damn self. Okay, it is very easy. It's very self-explanatory, and I don't have to read the book for you. There is no reason for me to read this book line by line and explain everything to you. This is the only book you should be reading at this very time. If you already read it, great. Congrats. Read it again. If you want to read another book, it's not your time yet. There's 2 more books that I'm going to recommend you to read, but it's not your time yet. Read one book at a time. For my experienced traders or my advanced traders, there's 2 other books that I recommend, and I'm going to recommend it towards the end of the boot camp. I don't want to distract. I don't want to lose the intermediate traders now that I've just transferred from beginner to intermediate. So once again, it's going to suck, but just temporarily. Please be patient. There's 2 other books that you have to read, but you have to be qualified to read them. If you read them right now, they won't have the same effect as if you were to read them in 3-4 weeks, because they're not meant for you right now. If all of this makes sense, type 1. If it doesn't, type 2. Do you recommend to print it out? You can print it out if you want. You can do whatever you want. You're giving us a very short time to read it. Too fucking bad, dude. It's literally 100 pages, man. There's like not even like there's really like not even more than 50 pages. If you don't have 50 pages, and if you can't read 50 pages in 48 hours, Jesus. I can't read, dude. If you really want this bad, you'll figure out how to read the book. There's in Spanish. If you want in Spanish, just search up Spanish, English, Chinese, whatever. It's in every language. Jeremy, I don't know. Do they have the book in Germany? I don't know. Search it up. Garabati. No, we're not there yet. There's an audio book on this as well. I don't recommend an audio book because you can't see the pictures with an audio book, I would imagine. You have to see the picture, and after you see the picture, you're gonna read the name. Watch, look. It's gonna make sense right now. So look right here. They're gonna explain to you what a bullish engulfing candlestick is. Imagine they tell you what this is, and you can't see it. Defeats the purpose of reading the book. It's literally bullish engulfing. This is what it is. Bullish engulfing. This is what it is. Bearish or doji. This is what it is. Doji. This is what it's such an easy read, guys. Please, 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 please. Do we have to memorize anything from the book? Nah, bro. Don't even read it. Can you read it for a bedtime to me? All right, we're done. We're done here. Ladies and gentlemen, quote for the fucking day. I've had it since the beginning of the class. Ready for the quote of the day, ladies and gentlemen? Quote of the day is watch the recording. Watch the recording and read the fucking book. Jesus. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for day number 6. Put a W in the chat if you guys are ready for next week to learn the how. Put the L if you're not. And if you put an L, it's your ass. It's your damn ass, all right? It's your ass. You know what? Put an L in the chat right now. Please, put an L in the chat right now. You can't. All right, put a W in the chat now. Oh, now you can. You see, no L's where we're from. No L's. We only get W's around here. You know what I realized? I could have never been a gang member, bro. Like my fingers are so fat. Like I can never throw a gang sign. I can never do it, bro. My fingers are too fat, bro. I can never do it. The Diddy fingers. I had a friend that was in a gang one time and he did the thing to me. I was like, let me try it. And I was like, oh no, I can't do it. Can't be part of the clique. Shit. He did. Oh fuck. All right, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you guys for being part of here. Once again, tomorrow, no call tomorrow. You guys already know what's the deal. Monday, 7 a.m., ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Saturday. Please watch the recording and read the book. Do yourself and me the favor. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. See you guys on Monday. Set and forget.